everyone, this is Aisha Servi, Head of Communications at Jazz. Really happy to have Tania Aidrus here with us today, particularly because Jazz has been sort of leading the Digital Pakistan agenda, and we now have somebody we are so excited to be part of that. Tania, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So when you came, the first thing that I found really amazing was your passion about Pakistan. Where does it come from?
It's not like it came from one thing. It was about a lot of things. It was the culture, the music that was sort of starting to come up during that time, the food, our hospitality. I mean, we have our language.
The people.
The people. I mean, just, there's so many things that now that I look back, I appreciate about, frankly, my upbringing and the environment that I grew up in. And so when I left Pakistan, I was 18, and I sort of took that pride with me.
Anybody particularly you think of first when you think Pakistan?
There are so many heroes. I mean, I very often, in fact, I really wish and hope that we continue to talk far more about our founding father and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I think our Prime Minister right now is somebody for lots of reasons, right? Whether as a sportsman or as a philanthropist, also just as a relentless politician who was trying to do something to change the world or change the country, and also women leaders. I mean, let's talk about that. Actually, if you look back, Pakistan is known for many of the women that we have produced, right?
So across the board.
Across the board, whether it's people like Malala or people like Sharmeen, or I mean, there are lots of people who have risen in their specific domains as global voices.
The equalization is very important. It was there then. The women are very courageous. But the digital agenda that you're driving is going to change that. It will bring an equality, to a girl in Thar Parker. It will bring that level of equality to somebody in Quetta because they have the same access to cheap digital technology. What's the opportunity like?
Step number one is affordability. Okay, let's forget about all things. You leave that aside. Let's find a way first to make sure affordability is at a level where anybody, with a few hundred rupees a month can actually get access to the internet on a consistent level. So that sort of starts to lower the barrier.
In terms of number, say we opened up the GSMA says that without, say, digital equality, there would be a 30% increase. Or what are we looking at? So if there was a one-liner opportunity giver, like 2020 tak, agar hum ye kare, to phir ye hoga. What's that like?
So look, to me, again, I will talk about the basics. We are in the year 2020. We need to have really aggressive goals for how many people we are going to have connected onto the internet. Currently, we're at roughly 35% of the population of Pakistan. There is no reason why this number should not be at 70% in the next 2 years.
So like 20 million.
Right. So we should be talking about something like adding 20 million more Pakistanis connected to the internet in as aggressive. Now, this will only happen if the entire ecosystem comes together.
Have you been pleasantly surprised?
My learning curve has honestly been the steepest it has ever been in my life. So that's the first thing I'll say in the past few months. Is mulk mein rehte hue, through technology, with the government support, with the private sector coming together, I can do wonders. I can reach the stars. Anything is possible. And so that hope and the sort of imagining the possibilities, we need to spark that back in our youth.
You have sparked that back in the party, by the way. Is that a lot of responsibility? Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed?
Letting down hope is honestly I think the worst possible thing anyone would want to be blamed for doing. And the hope has been, there is a whole generation of young people growing up right now that frankly need to be given hope, but also need to understand the possibilities and need to feel like this country can provide them those possibilities.
What were the sort of really ludicrous, funny, did that really happen moment?
So look, I mean, again, there are lots of amazing moments, and there are lots of I can't believe we're still talking about this things, and they range all the way from just even now how long it takes for just files to move.
Can we go paperless at some point?
I think that there are examples of ministries that are already doing that, and they're led by ministers, incredibly forward-looking people who've told their staff कि भी मैं sign नहीं करूँगा.
And I feel really upset about people who are not in the arena. They don't have the courage to step into the arena, but then they're going to throw tomatoes from the audience.
This is called drawing room conversation. So this is something that the diaspora often talks about. कि हमने बहुत सारे साल, and I fully take blame for this, कि हम बैठ के बातें करते हैं पाकिस्तान क्यों नहीं आगे बढ़ रहा, क्यों नहीं हो रहा, और ड्राइंग रूम में बातें होती रहती हैं, but you know, like ultimately who's going to roll up their sleeves and show up?
Nobody.
And so the reality is in many ways actually a huge part of my motivation in doing this was I was like, no more drawing room talk.
Yeah.
Roll up my sleeves and show up and give it a shot. And I can tell you that just when you say that you try your best, there is a whole long list of Pakistanis that are willing to back people.
That inspiration came from you. Tania, thank you so much for doing this for Pakistan, regardless of where this goes, and congratulations on what you've already achieved.
Thank you so much.
दुनिया को बता दो.